All righty, we are live. This is Talking Movies with Sean, Kenny, and Jim. I'm Sean.
I'm Kenny.
And I'm Jim.
And we've got our special guest tonight, Mr. Texas Hardcore himself.
Texas.
Hey,
Thank
Texas.
you. It's an honor to be here with you, gentlemen.
No fireworks. Sorry, Texas.
No fireworks. Sorry, Jim.
That's all right.
All right, we're glad to have you here, Texas. Tonight, our topic is Love on the Rocks, Unconventional Love Stories. And I did spell unconventional correctly, so I'm very happy about that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
The more you know.
So this has kind of been an interesting show to put together. We're all kind of putting together kind of different ideas of what we think are unconventional love stories. It's kind of started for me as a top 5 list and then morphed into just 5 movies that I thought were unconventional love stories. I know, Jim, you didn't do a top 5.
No, I did
right?
not.
Okay.
No, I did not.
Texas, you said you did, but you may not have one now. I don't know. So
they're all like I said, they're all kind of just, they're too good to actually, really put them in like a 5 category, but
right. So they don't have to be in any particular order.
That's
Kenny,
right.
I don't know what you did. Did you put them in a top 5?
I have them in 5, but mine can go either way.
Okay.
Basically. It's just, it was like when I was narrowing them down, it was like, oh, okay. And then I slotted them that way. But,
Gotcha.
We never know what Kenny's doing.
Yeah,
No, you
really.
don't.
Give a shout out to your Philadelphia Eagles. And
Oh,
winning the
yeah, I
Super
was getting to
Bowl.
that. I was getting
Your
to that.
Philadelphia Eagles.
You're my Philadelphia Eagles.
Ask Texas how he feels about football.
Never
I
mind.
won't talk about that here.
It's a private joke. You go over to Texas's channel or Juno's channel when they do these watch-alongs on CWO network. He runs a clip constantly about his feelings about football, and yeah, it never gets old. I've seen that clip 100 times. It makes me laugh every time. So
I'll have to check that out. All right.
and also,
so
before we begin, I know you're going to hate
sure.
this, but we have to wish our distinguished host, Sean, here, a very happy birthday
Happy
today.
birthday.
No, I'm not going to sing. I'm not going to sing.
I
but-
would, but I didn't know if it
No,
was
we'll get a copyright strike. Don't.
Yeah.
but very, very happy birthday.
No, we
to
won't.
you.
That's public domain.
No, it's not.
So
It's
Winnie
not
the
public.
Pooh. Winnie the Pooh can massacre people, but we can't sing happy birthday to you. Huh?
Nope.
Well, actually, I can do my own version for you.
There
That's
you go.
not. Then so it's happy birthday. It's your fucking birthday, so have some fucking fun, Sean. There you go.
There you go. Thank you.
That was
That's more
beautiful.
appropriate anyway.
Somewhere Bennigan's is missing a waiter.
Yeah, remember Chi Chi's used to sing "It's Your Birthday"? They used to come around with the chimichanga and stuff like that, and the little rattles.
I broke up with a woman on my birthday for doing that shit to me.
I could see
Nuh-uh.
that happening.
I did. The people came up singing, and I stood up and walked out, jumped in the car, and left.
Get in your mouse and get out of here.
This was before
Oh.
Uber.
Oh, geez. Oh, the comments are blowing up. Geez, I'm sorry, guys. Oh, thank you, Dan. So we're talking about the greatest love story ever told, The Fly, for 2 hours. Yep.
Damn it, Dan! No spoilers.
Thank you, Stacy. Patrick, welcoming Texas. And look at Texas multitasking there. There we go.
Yeah, really.
Hey,
I'm impressed.
this isn't his first trip at the rodeo.
No, he's not.
Well, usually I'm watching you guys on my TV, and then I'm doing all the comments like here, like on my phone. So it's good
awesome
to have
having you
two
here, man.
phones.
Yeah, it's
so
awesome having you here.
Thanks, I
Yeah,
appreciate
definitely.
it.
Thank you, Victor. Mr. Dan says he's having a beer in my honor. Thank you. And Patrick is having a coffee in my honor. Thank you.
I'm hitting my vape in nobody's honor.
There you go. There you go.
I
All right, Stacy's got a lot of questions for us. I don't know if we'll get to all of them, so we'll to them.
We would expect nothing
She
less.
throws us a lot of questions, so we'll get to them as we can. But with that note, who wants to start tonight with their pick of the evening?
Start with Kenny. Go clockwise like we always do.
All right, sounds like a plan.
My first unconventional one is Murphy's Romance from 1985 with James Garner and Sally Field.
Nice. I haven't thought of that movie in years.
I love that movie.
It is. It's a good movie.
It's got two dimensions. It's got the old widower with James Garner having feelings for young Sally Field, who's still hung up on her ex-husband. And then it's a really beautiful movie. I think he should have won the Oscar for that. I believe still. I think Klaus Maria Brandauer won that year. But
what year was that from?
85.
Oh,
yeah, that's again, it's a good movie. I haven't seen that movie in damn near 40 years.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah, James Garner's awesome in that movie.
Yeah. Great pick,
Good pick,
says
Kenny.
Mr. Dan.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good. So Texas, the way this works, you're going to be next.
All right. So my first one is Valley Girl.
Nice.
Nice.
That's a good one.
Great
You know,
soundtrack.
The kind of, wrong side of the tracks, girl meets boy, boy is really attracted to her, but she has an asshole boyfriend, etc. And then, they kind of her friends try to convince her later that he's not right for her and stuff. And, it goes back and forth, but ultimately it ends up, very, very good. And one of the most interesting things that I heard, that I saw the other day on this was that the band, the Plimsolls, that play like in the club scene, originally Amy Heckerling, she wanted to, or was it? No, I'm sorry, Martha Coolidge. Yeah, she wanted to get X to play instead, which I think would have been a better fit, but John Doe, he said, yeah, we read the script. We're like, what is this fucking movie? No, we don't want to do this. And then he said, and then he's like, I look back on it and maybe, we should have after all, and stuff.
Were they ever in a movie? Did X ever appear in a movie?
Well, actually, yeah, they're in the first Decline of Western Civilization, there's a documentary that was done kind of around the same time, but of Decline. But then throughout the next couple of years after that, called The Unheard Music, and that's a really good documentary on them. Has some really good performances and stuff like that. And then of course John Doe was in the original Roadhouse. He's been in a bunch of different.
I was just about ready to mention that actually.
Yeah,
was like he didn't like the script for Valley Girl, but yet he loved the script for Roadhouse enough to appear in it.
You got to have standards.
No, Valley Girl's great.
I think he just wanted to hang out with Patrick Swayze, being that he probably was a fan of Dirty Dancing and whatnot. Oh, that's the first mention tonight.
Yeah, you bastard. you beat Patrick to it. Yeah, that's the movie that made me fall in love with Deborah Foreman originally.
Well, that's the movie that made me fall in love with E.G. Daily, but
Oh yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, E.G. Daily too. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Although, I think I fell more in love with her on Pee-wee's Big Adventure for some reason. I love her in that movie. She's just so damn adorable.
Yep.
Okay, am I up?
Yeah.
You're up.
Okay, well, since Dan already kind of spoiled my fun, The Fly.
There you go, Mr. Dan.
Very good,
Awesome.
Dan. Very good. Because, like I mentioned it on our horror movie video, yeah, it's a horror movie, but to me, it's always been a tragic love story at its heart.
Yep.
And you'll find by my lists of movies as we go along, I am not into romantic movies whatsoever for the most part.
Holy
Yeah.
shock!
Yeah, exactly. Because I have a heart of ice, but I like romantic movies that I don't expect. And one of those is coming up, okay? But I hate movies that manipulate. They're there just to manipulate the emotions, okay? And most rom-coms, most love stories to me fit that category. So that's why when we were originally talking about this, I said I want to go unconventional. Because nobody thinks of The Fly as a love story. But actually pay attention to the story, and that's exactly what it is. It's a tragic love story in the best way, possible in my eyes. Not to mention the fact that the two of them were dating at the time. So there's chemistry there between Gina Davis and Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
So yeah, number one, Fly.
Gotcha. Great pick.
Thank
The
you.
one that, pardon the pun, flew over my head because I completely forgot about it.
Yeah. Hopefully I got a couple more like that for you. I know one for a fact is going to go over. All three of you are going to go, holy shit, really?
Well, I hopefully have at least one of those too. I've got a couple conventional-ish ones. Mr. Dan just said she hugs him after the ear falls off.
Best reaction in a theater ever. Ever as an usher. Standing in the back of the theater every time, man, people would lose their shit.
Yep. All right.
Excuse me.
I'll get to my first pick. I have to say, I was talking before the show to everybody, and Jim, I don't think you were on yet, but maybe you were. I can't remember. This
Old
pick.
age.
What's that?
I said old age.
Yes. Thanks.
Eh?
Or it's creeping up on me.
Be like my aunt. Huh?
This thing on. So over the weekend, I watched a movie that I thought would be on my list, and I would have 100% put it on had I not watched it over the weekend. And I watched it, and I was like, "Oh crap! This movie has aged so poorly, and has so much different than my memory of it."
Blame it on Rio.
No, I've never seen that, to be honest.
Oh, are you missing out?
Yeah,
Kenny and Texas have seen it. Look at their reactions.
There's some good yams in that movie.
Yeah, I know what you're referring to. I remember when people in my class saw it.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine. So the movie was Untamed Heart, believe it or not.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's what I thought until I watched it again. And I'm like, oh, this.
No.
I watched it with my wife, and my wife is like, that's the most depressing movie I've ever seen.
Yes.
And I'm like, it's not even that. It's the Christian Slater character is a freaking stalker. It's creepy. It's creepy. So
that was a huge rental back in the 90s, though, man.
Oh, I know.
That was huge.
I gave it to a girlfriend of mine as a romantic movie, and good Lord, was I a stupid person. But anyway, so I picked this instead.
Now that one I have not seen yet.
Oh, okay. Wow, okay.
Her?
Yeah, I have only seen this once. Her, with Joaquin Phoenix and Amy Adams and Rooney Mara and the voice of Scarlett Johansson. I've only seen it once, and it was right after it came out. And I've only seen it once, and I don't know if it's aged well with now the fact that this probably could happen today. The guy falls in love with an operating system. Back when I saw it, Chat GPT and Copilot and all that stuff didn't exist. So I don't know if it stands up. But I'm picking it anyway as an unconventional love story because when I saw it, I really loved it. Of course, when I saw Untamed Heart, I really loved it. So, so this kind of has an asterisk next to it. So if it still stands up, I recommend it, but I'd have to watch it again to be 100% sure. So that is my pick with a slight hesitation.
I think you're better
the
off. The
rest I'll
one.
stand by 100%. The because I've seen them multiple times, but that one is my hesitatingly recommended one.
Yeah, I'm glad that you didn't go with Untamed Heart.
Yeah, I'm glad I rewatched
Kenny,
it.
I'm glad you like that movie. Okay.
Yeah,
But that is exactly the type of movie I was talking about in my little rant a couple of minutes ago, that it kind of exists just to, because my ex-wife, the crazy bitch who was obsessed with Patrick Swayze,
Mm-hmm.
her number 2 obsession was Christian Slater. So we went
Oh,
to every
wow.
one of his movies as well, including that one. I paid to
Yeah.
see that one theatrically. And she bawled her eyes out. And I sat there just like you. This guy's a creep. This guy's a stalker. What the fuck? And not to mention, my father was also on a transplant list at that point for his heart.
Oh no.
Oh, geez.
So that just brought in a whole different level to what I was watching, at the time. And I haven't watched that movie since. But yeah, I'm glad you didn't put that on the list.
Yeah.
Well, my next choice is one I can't wait to hear Jim talk about.
Oh, it better not be Dirty Dancing, you fucking
No,
bastard.
it's not. I left it off the list. I left it off the list.
I thought one of you would do it just to be cheeky.
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't do that. That's
I thought about doing that since I wasn't so sure about this one. I thought I'd put Dirty Dancing on it since I haven't seen it. So
yeah, there you go.
No, I didn't want to be a jerk and do that. But I'll give you another one. Ghost. That's my next one.
I don't have a problem with Ghost.
I love that movie. I really think that Demi Moore should have won the Oscar for that movie. Just for that little tear that came down. But that movie is so good, and there was like so many dimensions to that movie too, that you could go with. The love story between Swayze and Demi Moore, and then like the good and evil aspect of it too. I love that. I love that movie.
Ghost is entertaining as hell. I just got sick of it because, again, she was obsessed with Patrick Swayze. So I must have seen that movie a dozen times theatrically and at least 20 on video before we divorced. So yeah, I don't need to see Ghost anymore. But I agree with just about everything you said, except for Demi Moore's performance, because to me, she's the weakest part of that movie.
Wow, really? Okay.
Yeah, we did a drinking game once where it was like, hey, every time she cries, have a shot. Good luck, man. Good luck, man.
Okay, Texas, you're up.
But no, I like Ghost. Don't get me wrong.
No, it's a great movie. I totally agree with it. It's just I sort of have sort of the same feeling because I saw it when I was working at the theater, and I saw it over and over and over again. So I was just sort of burnt out on it, but it's a great movie. I actually got to see it as a result of Whitesnake canceling a concert.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Before you go though, while I'm thinking about it, you mentioned Ghost, okay? Have you ever seen Jacob's Ladder?
Yes.
Yes.
Same guy wrote both.
Yep.
Both movies were released the same year. One was a hit, one was a flop, okay?
Yep.
But he said in an interview that it's the same story. It's just one is about going to heaven and the other one's about going to hell.
Wow.
And Ghost is a great movie. I'd rather watch Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah,
I'd have to watch that again, Jacob's Ladder, because I remember.
It's weird.
I remember that. Oh, it's weird. I remember I rented it, and I think I owned it on VHS at one time.
Yeah, I found it on
I haven't
DVD.
seen it for years.
Yeah, I found it on DVD at the Goodwill recently, and I forgot how creepy that movie is. There's some creepy shit in that movie, man.
Tim Robbins is so good. He's really underrated.
Yeah,
as an actor.
Yeah, and Macaulay Culkin's like younger than
Yeah.
Home Alone in that movie. He's real young in that movie.
Yeah. Is he even credited?
Yeah.
Is he credited?
He's not credited in the opening titles, but in the after, you know, the credits at the end. Yeah, it's not like an introducing or anything like that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, don't worry about it. I saw that for the first time ever, like last year.
Oh wow,
yeah, that was a bizarre
Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw. Okay, here we go again with my little stories. That came out in 1990. Okay, so that was the same year as Total Recall. Might have even been around the same time. I don't remember, but my brother Greg, the one that passed away last year, he had just moved back up to Illinois where I was living at the time after living down in Florida for a while. So we went to a lot of movies together, you know, that year. and Jacob's Ladder was one of them. And it was the only movie that the two of us took acid before we went instead of getting high.
Oh my God.
And as soon as we saw those subway creature dudes, doing that shit, oh my God, man. Both of us were like holding hands going, what the fuck are we doing here? It's the last time I've ever dropped acid in my life. So it was 35 years ago. The statute of limitations is well past, but yeah, not a good movie to drop acid to.
I've never done acid in my life, and I can imagine what that would be like.
If you're 57, don't at this point.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen.
Look what Jim got you.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
All right. It's hard to follow you guys anyway, so it's all good. So okay, my next one actually is one of heartbreak. It's not all love, chocolates and roses, and it's The Last American Virgin.
Oh, nice. If I had that one, it would have been on my list.
I mean, I remember like the first time I saw that and that ending. I mean, well, I've had similar experiences, not as quite as well, different circumstances. We'll say I didn't pay for what he was paying for and all that, but I mean, I've had similar experiences where there'd be somebody in my life, and then something would just go fucking haywire because of somebody else, and I'm just like, oh gee, thanks a lot. It's like, so yeah, just like Valley Girl, it's got a great soundtrack and everything, and it's the acting is great. And I think that's pretty much what gets you through it, even though when you get to that ending and you're just wanting to like shoot that guy in the head, it's kind of like, well, it's like, it's like, damn,
what a gut punch ending.
But
I remember watching that on cable way back in the day, because I didn't see that one theatrically, but I saw that one on cable, and it just pulls that switch so well, because for 90% of it you're watching Porky's, and then the last 10 minutes, man, you get your heart just ripped out of your chest, and it's like, are you fucking kidding me? And yeah, I could relate to that kid. I would have been that kid. I wouldn't have brought a chick a basket of oranges and a Christmas tree after an abortion, but other than that,
the thing that gets,
go ahead.
Have you ever seen like his the other movie that the director did called Lemon Popsicle, which was basically
it's a Jewish version,
right?
It's the Israeli version. No, I have not, but I'm
I never have either, but I'm just kind of curious how that plays out in comparison to this one.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'll be talking about that movie later on, actually, believe it or not.
Oh,
so
well, that's interesting. Okay. You son of a bitch! No,
first Dan, now you, Texas. God damn it! No, great pick. If I would have owned that movie, like I said, it would have been on my list. Anything to add, gentlemen?
No.
Nope. Good pick. Great pick.
Okay. Name of this show, Unconventional.
Yep.
And I just told a story about being on acid. Put the two together, and what do you get? Mandy.
Oh, yes.
Oh, man.
For anybody who doesn't know, this has got Nicolas Cage in it. And I don't think he even says a word in this whole movie. It's just a lot of groaning, screaming, and crying, okay? But don't let that throw you off. Mandy, this is one of the craziest fucking movies I've ever seen in my life. I do not recommend it to people. I've never recommended that movie to anybody.
Really?
All I tell people about it is, if you like weird movies, this is the movie for you, because it is beyond weird. Have you seen it, Kenny? I'm pretty sure you have.
I was just going to say, so he's basically getting hired to do no dialogue.
No. He gives a great performance in
It's
this. This is
fantastic
one of
in this
his
movie.
better performances
Yes.
from the last 20 years. Okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just
No,
because he doesn't talk.
Because Willy's Wonderland, he
Yeah,
didn't speak.
that's a different thing. No, okay.
Oh,
Let
okay.
me explain what this movie is. Okay.
Okay, please.
It's a love story. It really is. Okay.
Mhm.
This man and his wife live in the forest, like in the woods somewhere. He's like a lumberjack or something, and they're like, I would almost think they're like a couple of ex hippies. Okay, that type of thing. Okay, but they're living off the grid, and they're clearly in love. Everything's great, and she catches the eye of a guy who's got like a Charles Manson thing going on, like a cult.
Okay.
And they break into their house one night, beat the shit out of him, kidnap her, and basically leave him for dead. Okay. And he tracks them down, and I don't want to go too far into it. Okay. But this is the craziest visually movie I've ever seen. I mean, you would think that the cinematographer was on acid filming this thing. I mean, seriously, there are some extremely wild visuals in this movie. It's almost like a visual movie. It's more visual storytelling than dialogue. Okay. But it goes in weird directions. I mean, extremely weird directions. And it's a movie that I can't even describe other than just saying it's a mind fuck. That's all it is.
Yep. Yep.
But
I totally agree.
I loved it. Okay. But I can honestly say, I don't know if you would like it at all, Kenny. I mean, like I said, it's a very strange movie.
I'm willing to give. I'm open-minded with movies, and it's on AMC Plus and it's on Pluto and Plex.
There you go.
So
I mean, put it this way: you will not be bored. Okay, you might be bored in the first 5 minutes or so, but once it gets going, you will not be bored. You'll just be sitting there going, "What the fuck am I watching?" Because it is wild.
Cool. Okay, thanks. I will check that out.
Cool.
Yeah, Stacy had a question. What should Cosmatos make next?
I have no idea, because after watching Mandy, man, he could basically do anything. I mean, horror related for sure.
Yeah,
he's got a great eye.
Have you seen his other movie? I think it's called Beyond the Black Rainbow.
No, I have not.
I haven't either. I've had it on my Netflix list or some queue somewhere. I have not yet watched it, just because I've never been in the right frame of mind to watch it, knowing what I know about Mandy. Because Mandy, I had no idea what I was going to get into when I sat down to watch it, and I just put it on and I went, "What the fuck am I watching?" Because it was literally just like you said, it was a mind fuck, just completely.
Yeah.
And I think he does speak in the movie, but
if he does, it's just a very minimal at the beginning with his wife.
I think he does, because he goes and sees his friend, and he I think they have a little bit of an exchange, but there's dialogue in it, but it's so, I don't want to say minuscule or unimportant.
It's sparse.
It's very sparse, but it's what you take away from that movie is the emotion of the film and the visuals.
Yes.
That's what burns into your retinas. And you just come away. There's one scene, and I won't give it away, but there's one scene towards the end where he looks at the camera, and you're just like,
Yep, I know exactly. And so does Texas. He knows what you're talking about.
But you also reminded me, Jim, another movie that came out that he was in too, which I feel that he deserved an Oscar for, and it is in some ways a love story. Is Pig.
Yes,
I have not seen that yet, but I've heard excellent things about it.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, it really is.
Yep.
Yeah, eventually I'm going to watch that.
Yep, definitely.
That's on my list.
Pig. It would definitely fit this category. I mean, you're kind of stretching a little, but not too much, because it is.
Oh, we haven't started to stretch yet.
Oh, I know, but for some people it might be a stretch. But
I put Christine back at the last minute.
Okay, yeah,
because I was going to be.
That.
I'm in love with my car.
Yeah, no, but I think Pig would be an excellent example for this list.
It's on the list.
saying that, I'm gonna pull up what is probably the last of the more or less conventional films on my list. Although I don't think that anything will approach what you have planned, Jim. But I picked The Illusionist.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, that's a
man.
good movie.
Never seen it.
You've never seen it?
No, I don't. I don't even know if I've ever heard of it.
With Paul Giamatti, Ed Norton, and Jessica Biel.
No, I have not.
Okay, Ed Norton plays a magician called what the hell is his name? Eisenheim, and he falls in love with Jessica Biel's character, and then they separate. I can't remember the exact plot, but basically he wants to get her back. He meets her later in life, and she's with somebody else, and he sort of uses his talents as a magician to get her back.
Gotcha.
It's sort of a blend of romance and fantasy, and I loved it. My wife hated it. So,
but she likes Dirty Dancing, so there's no accounting for taste.
Jim, it is on Tubi, by the way. If you
want. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so check it out.
Awesome.
I gave it 5 stars when I reviewed it. The first time I reviewed it on my website. I really loved it, but I don't want to spoil anything from it because there's a lot of twists and turns in it.
What year is that from?
2006, I believe.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
2006.
So it's an older movie.
Because there was
that's why
the Prestige also, which was around kind of the same time.
Came out the same year as
now that one I've seen. You know, so I own that one.
I think they got kind of mixed matched.
Yeah.
It was like probably why I never heard of The Illusionist, because I was probably thinking of The Prestige. So
yeah, The Prestige sort of overshadowed it because it was more of the it was Christopher Nolan, and it was more of a high profile film, and Nolan did the Batman movies and whatever, but this was more my speed. I like The Prestige, but I like The Illusionist a lot better.
Gotcha. Well, that's on the list now too.
Cool.
All right, next up for me is I think everybody has seen this movie. Clerks.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man.
37
in a row.
I just love from the whole Randall and Dante, because we've all had friends like Randall and Dante.
So it's a bromance movie.
Yeah, it's and Jay and Silent Bob.
Great pick.
I love women.
Dude, me and you can go back and forth all night long doing quotes from that fucking movie. So.
I remember when I seen it, because at the time I was working at Movies Unlimited. Holy shit, we just laughed our asses off watching that.
Yep.
Especially when Randall runs down the adult titles in front of the kid.
Oh God, yeah.
Happy Scrappy Hero Pup.
That taken anyway too. Oh my God!
Yeah,
we used to have a list printed up on the in the back of it, and it's just like Randall on the phone, and it's like all of those. And it was like if we ever had like a bad customer or something, it's like, hey, can we recommend this to you? Because we sold adult titles in the back. We rented adult titles in the back. Any Which Way 3, Come As You Are, Come On Eileen, something like that. Yeah,
Come On Eileen, the KY connection.
Yes. So yeah, we could be here all night talking about that movie. But Clerks, that's my next one.
Olaf, metal,
Berserker.
Did he just say making fuck?
Yeah.
He's a rock star. What's the name of his band? I don't know. Fuck your Yankee Blue Jeans. Some crazy shit like that.
And then the whole talk about Star Wars, that whole started a whole other thing. For like hours we would go. And I remember I came home and I said to my brother, I said, "You got to watch this movie. I'm telling you, you gotta watch this movie." We watched it. We rewound it and watched it again because we were laughing so fucking hard on that movie. You know,
Not a lot of people over in the UK have ever seen that movie.
Is that
I guess
right?
Kevin Smith's movies are not big over there, I guess.
Really?
Because I've gotten so many comments, Carlos, Stuart, most of the people in that community, they're like, nope, never seen Clerks, mate. And it's like, oh my God,
Oh wow, that's a shame. I don't know.
That is a darn shame.
Yeah. One of my favorite memories of going to the movies, I went with my girlfriend at the time. We went to see Pulp Fiction, and the trailer on Pulp Fiction was Clerks. And I was like, I've got to see that movie. I've got to see that movie. I know right now I'm going to love that movie.
Yep.
And sure enough, absolutely loved it.
Yeah, best line in the movie. I mean, the one that killed me the most the first time I saw it was when they're doing the montage of the stupid customers. Because like you guys, I worked in a video store at one point. And the guy goes, you got that movie with that guy that was in that thing last year? And it's like, I've heard those verbatim words come out of people's mouths. And even now, people will say, hey, you ever see that movie that was in that had that guy in it who was in that other thing with that?
Oh, that might have been my mom, because my mom used to do that at Blockbuster. She used to ask the guy, and then she'd go like this. She'd like snap her fingers like that was going to help, trigger her memory, and she'd go, damn it, Ken, what the hell that movie was? And she'd get like all flustered and she'd like mumble her words. I'm like, Mom, I don't know what it was. And then we'd get home and she'd sit down, open up her Coke, and she'd go, that's what it was. Son of a bitch. I'll remember it next time and then write it down for the next time.
Okay, I stand corrected according to Stacy. I don't know. Maybe just the people in our community's never seen them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Stacy says that Kevin Smith's movies are big over there. Kevin Smith has done several live shows, and his movies screen over there regularly.
Where's
when he
Stacey
goes.
From?
Yeah, I want to know that too. Where are you from, Stacy?
Yeah, where are you from, Stacy?
And Stacy, once again, you made my last live chat a joy. Thank you so much. I don't know if you guys saw that one that I did with Daniel.
Yeah.
Stacy had some great comments. She had us both crying with laughter at one point. I mean, yeah. Stacy, you're wonderful. I can't say enough about you. You're great.
Yeah, they're popular as they are here. He has a cult following in the US and also the UK, not mainstream anywhere. Yeah.
Okay, well, Texas, you're up.
You're up, Texas.
All right. Well, I can beat that sort of stuff though. When I worked for the warehouse, I was like the used CD buyer and manager for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
This guy came in one time and he asked us if we sold blank used cassettes.
Wow.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, I just.
It wasn't a joke. The guy was serious.
No, because the funny thing is, he said it to a coworker of mine, and the coworker wanted to make sure that I heard what the guy said. He goes, "Hey, do we by chance sell blank used cassettes?" And I'm just looking at him like, fuck you, And I told the gentleman, no, sir, we do not. And then he left, and then my coworker and I are just like, like,
you're waiting for Candid Camera to show up or something. Am I being punked?
So you want
that's hilarious.
A cassette full of static? Is that what you want?
That is so funny.
Oh, brother.
So anyway, my next one is a real tour de force as far as I'm concerned. One of my all-time. This is actually one of my top 10 favorite films of all time. Harold and Maude.
Oh, great movie.
Oh,
great movie.
I have not seen that movie. Don't kill me. I have it. I own it. And I was going to watch it for the intent purpose of possibly putting it on this list because I've heard so many good things about it. So it's been on my list forever.
Yeah, you should watch that with Lori. I think she'd like that too, Sean. Seriously.
Maybe not.
Bud
Yeah,
Cort,
yeah.
you know,
It's a weird movie, but it's I love that movie.
but I mean, Bud Cort and Ruth Gordon are amazing, and it's got a
Yes.
great Cat Stevens soundtrack. Yeah,
Absolutely.
and you know, this is a movie you can't go wrong. I mean, I even got my mother to watch it with me one time and stuff, and she loved it. She thought it was amazing. Clerks, on the other hand, she at the porno titles, she gave me one of the worst looks she ever
Dipped
gave.
out.
What the hell? I was like, I don't know. You know, it's play dumb. You know. You know.
Oh,
But
Bud Cort is so damn funny in that movie.
oh, he's amazing. A couple of years ago, I saw Brewster McCloud. I'd never seen that one before,
Mhm.
and they had filmed that here in Houston. There's a lot of it that takes place at the Astrodome, and Margaret Hamilton was in it, which was really, you know, kind of odd. You know, I was like, whoa, man. You know, she was pretty funny in the short amount of time she was in it. But that's a great movie. Not as great as this one, but
Yeah.
that one's definitely worth a watch as well.
Yeah, I don't own that one, unfortunately. Eventually, I got to add that to the collection because it's a great movie.
Yeah, that Criterion goes for big bucks now. Though you can't get it. I ended up getting the Paramount Presents one that just came
Right.
out not long ago.
Have you seen that movie, Kenny?
No.
Yeah, it's an old. What year is that one from?
1970, I believe.
Yeah,
70,
it's early
71.
70s. I know that.
71. It says, yeah.
Yeah, it's
You mean
It's-
Harold and Maude? I have seen Harold and Maude.
yeah, where the kid's in love, or the kid falls in love with the old lady.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I've seen that. I thought you were talking about another one. I'm sorry.
Thank
See
you,
you, Patrick.
Patrick.
See you, Patrick.
No, great pick. Okay, I'm up.
You're up.
Okay, well, since Kenny already kind of broke the rules with the bromance, I was going to do that. See, so now everybody is spoiling my fun tonight. I don't like it. I've got the greatest bromance of all time. And
Okay.
no, I'm not talking about, like Point Break or any of that shit. I'm talking about the classic that is Tucker and Dale versus
Oh, man.
I have never even heard of that.
Oh, Kenny, put
You
this on your
haven't?
list right
No.
now. Write this down. Put it on your list right now, because this is one of the funniest, touching horror movie comedies you'll ever see. But it's got one, in my opinion, one of the greatest bromances of all time. Because Alan Tudyk and Tyler Labine, the two main characters here, they have the world's best relationship between bros, because these two guys are like, they're awesome. I'm telling you.
It is on my list, and it is on Tubi.
Yeah, make that a priority.
I'll watch it tonight.
Within 10 minutes, you will be in love with that movie. I'm telling you, it is so much fun.
I'll tell you what. I have to make a confession. I haven't seen it either. It's been on my list forever.
See, now
Yeah.
you, I thought for sure
Yep.
would have seen.
Nope.
It makes an incredible double feature with Cabin in the Woods,
Oh, okay. All right.
because it's got that type of spirit, but jacked up to the nth degree. I mean, this movie is gory as hell, but it is hilarious. There's not a moment in this movie that's scary. Okay, Cabin in the Woods, arguably, there's a couple of moments that are scary, before it gets batshit crazy.
Right.
This movie gets batshit crazy more or less from the get-go. It's just so much fun. I know Texas has seen it.
Oh, yeah.
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 And your thoughts on the movie?
Oh, I love it. I think it's fantastic. I'm just, the thing that irks me the most is that they were going to do a sequel, and it never happened,
Right.
and whatnot.
Yeah,
But
it was between that one. I'm sorry.
No, I think that movie is so great because it's not the usual, horror tropes and things like that.
No.
And you're just like, wow,
No, it turns shit on its ear, and that's what's so great about it. It's so much fun. I mean, in those two, like I said, Tyler Labine and Alan Tudyk, the two of them are just so goddamn good in that movie together. They play off each other so well. Yeah, both of you guys got to check that one. Check
Yeah.
that one out, please. It's so good.
Stacy remembers our shows better than I do. It says that it was mentioned when we had Brendan on from Cinefessions
Yeah.
on
Oh,
the
okay.
Asylum show.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, Stacy.
so thank you.
Yeah, Stacy's awesome.
Stacy's got Stacy. I've mentioned it before, but I don't know if you heard me. You've got a ton of questions in the comments. We will probably get to them because it looks like we're running way ahead of schedule. So
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, the only
So-
one who's rambling is me as usual.
that's okay. That's okay. So we'll get to them. We'll get to them. All right. It is my turn, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right. So this one, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this. You may have. It played in my theater. Otherwise, I wouldn't have heard of it. But it's The Cooler.
Oh,
Yes.
great
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Great
Okay.
movie.
Great movie.
With William H. Macy and Maria Bello. I guess I understated.
Baldwin is awesome in that
Yeah,
movie.
Baldwin's great.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin's in it. Just an amazing. It's a great mob movie. It's a great drama, but it is a romance as well.
Yes.
William H. Macy's great in it. Baldwin was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor.
He was so good in that movie.
Yeah.
He was
Macy's
fantastic.
just as good though. I mean, Macy's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
Macy reminds me of Ed Harris. You put him in any movie and they're great.
Oh yeah.
You know?
He's a great actor.
yeah. Speaking of Ed Harris, have you guys seen the new trailer for Riff Raff that just
Yes.
got
Yes.
released?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have no.
Okay,
It
check
looks
it out.
pretty damn funny.
It looks hilarious.
What's
it
her
looks
face?
hilarious.
Jennifer
Coolidge,
Coolidge, yeah.
Bill
Her and
Murray,
Ed
Pete
Harris.
Davidson.
Oh my god. Yeah, that looks
Yeah.
funny as hell.
It looks hilarious. Check it out, Kenny. I put it on my Movie Assaults movie chat
Oh, okay, cool.
group. So if you want to check it out. Okay.
Great pick. I haven't seen that movie in years, but that movie's great.
All right, Sarah. Sorry to hear that. I don't know what that's all about, but okay. Thank you, Stacy. And all right, it is you, Kenny.
Oh, okay. Next one up. I seen this in the movies. I absolutely loved it. I gave my niece the first two. I watched the third one again, and it's let me get it's a trilogy. I think Sean, you own this one. It's just a great movie. Before Sunrise, 1995.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
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 Fucking love that
Ethan Hawke.
movie. The whole thing. Julie Delpy.
Yeah.
My lord. I just love those movies, and just the scenery when they're walking around, and just and the conversation doesn't feel forced or anything. It just feels like two people just walking around Rome, you know, and just the bookstore, and I love it.
Yeah,
So-
the dialogue, the reason why there you
Oh,
go.
there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, I have all three of them. Are the special features really good? Texas to buy the Criterion.
I haven't really watched them, but there's a ton of just stuff on there. So I would definitely pick it up. But I love Linklater anyway because he's a Texas boy anyway, and
Mhm.
he's only made one bad film in my opinion, but I won't say which one.
Bad News Bears.
No,
Okay, good, because I like that movie.
I love his version of that. No, actually, the one that I don't like is by him is Waking Life. I couldn't stand it.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah, I don't like that movie either.
Yeah, I watched 20 minutes of it and had to turn it off because I don't like movies where people are just yelling for like no reason at all. I just I could just argue with myself all night and have a better time.
But yeah, I was going to mention the reason why the dialogue sounds so good in that, Kenny, is because it's Linklater, and all of his movies are like that. Days of Confused.
Yeah.
That movie has no story to it whatsoever. None.
Nope.
People love it anyways because it is. You're just hanging out with these people for a couple of hours,
Yep.
That's why I think because Ethan Hawke really is very underrated, underappreciated too for like the
Yeah,
stuff
he's a great
that he
actor.
does. and he always takes different roles. Like he was in that Black Phone movie, and then you see him in this, and then you see him in that the Getaway movie with the girl from what the hell's her name, Selena Gomez. He's in like a Fast and Furious kind of chase movie with her.
Okay,
And it's just so different. In
Training Day.
Yeah, well, yeah, Training Day. So it's just like, but man, Julie Delpy, I had such a massive, huge crush on her, man, when that movie came out. Good golly, wow, yeah. So
yeah, beautiful girl.
Yeah, that's my pick. I hope they do a fourth. You think they'll ever do a fourth one, Texas, with just the kids, like the twins and
maybe,
and
but by now I don't know. I kind of doubt that he. But you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Boyhood. That movie is fantastic. And the way he did that. 7 years. Filming some, and then 7 years, and then 7 years, and so you never know.
That's a really Patricia Arquette's great in that movie.
Oh yeah.
I'm still trying to think of the. Oh yeah, you said Waking Life. I was going to say School of Rock. You like School of Rock, right?
Oh, I love School of Rock.
Oh, okay. I like School of Rock.
I mean, like I said, to me, he's only done one, bad film, and I mean, there's a few of his that I haven't seen, but they're more like, later on in his career, but I'll get to him eventually. So there might be another one that I might not like. No, I'm just kidding, but I mean, you can't go wrong with like Slacker, and nobody even knew, that was him when he did Dazed and Confused anyway. So
right. And if it wasn't for Slacker, Clerks would never exist.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yep.
Kevin Smith's gone on record many times saying that's the movie that inspired him to start making movies.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yep.
You will die within a fortnight.
All right, you're up.
Okay. So my next one, I had to slip this in somehow because Jim said, well, these guys aren't familiar with this next director. And so, and this has a lot of romance and a lot of violence and a lot of action and a lot of yams. And that's Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
I've heard of it.
Happening and it freaks me out.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really, I mean, there's some tragedy, but then it winds up with a triple wedding at the end. So, love ruled it out after all, but I mean, there's all these great vague references of Martin Bormann. Does he exist? You get to see people tripping on acid and having, there's scenes of, bathtub sex and sex in beds and, just all over the place. But I will say this, because I have to set the record straight, because there's a lot of people out here that are just, they don't bother to read, or they don't, have any kind of conception about how Russ Meyer was an actual auteur. He fought in World War II, for Christ's sakes. That's what got him, he was a cameraman. That's how he got into, making film and stuff, and yeah, he was obsessed with breasts, but his movies were not pornographic. He didn't like pornography.
I'm obsessed with breasts. So what's, yeah.
Well, no, but I've seen people actually say to me, "Oh, you bought porn," I'm like,
no,
I did not.
No, Russ Meyer's not porn.
No. He didn't like porn. People always tried to label him as that, but it was the MPAA was always stuck on, oh, well, there's breasts in here, but that you've got a lot of, horrible violence and things, beheadings or, whatever, shootings and a lot of blood, and stuff. And it's like, oh, we're going to give you X, which now it's just like an NC-17 or an R,
Yeah, all those movies would be rated R now.
Yeah.
All of them.
Or just unrated, you know.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I knew you'd sneak a Russ Meyer in there somewhere.
Plus, this was actually the story was written by Roger Ebert as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he did
wrote the screenplay.
so he did do some good, you know, for people that don't like Roger Ebert.
Hey. Roger Ebert was a Chicago institution, my
Oh,
friend.
I love him. I like Siskel too.
Yeah, I was watching those two years before they went syndicated. When it was
on PBS.
When it was, huh? Oh yeah,
on PBS.
Yeah,
Yeah.
previews when it was just a local broadcast show. Yeah, and public. Yep.
Public. Yep, that's when I used to watch them.
Yeah, my dad would always be like, "Why the hell are you watching these two idiots argue?" Because they're showing movie clips for movies that haven't come out yet that I want to see. You know, that was the only reason why I watched it. You know, originally.
That's what we're missing these days. You know, we take but there was like appointment TV back in like the 80s, and you had to make sure, because I remember that used to come on at 12:30 here, and I said to Mom, "We got to be home like at 12:30 from church." You know, and she's like, "Well, DVR it, VCR it," and I'm like, "Well, no, because Grandma changed the channel, you know, because you had to, keep the, button on there." And it was like, I used to sprint out of the car just to make sure that, it was taping on the right channel, because once you didn't get replays of it, you only had it one shot,
Forget God, Siskel and Ebert are on.
I'm telling you, man. I used to go like this. She'd be like talking to us like some old biddies and stuff, and I like point to my watch, and I'm like, "We gotta go." It's like we've been here since 7:00. We gotta go, And I'm like pointing to my watch. I'm like literally pointing to my Donald Duck watch. I'm like, "Mom, we gotta go." And then she'd like yell at me in the car when I'm talking to blah, 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 you be like, "Mom, we've been there for 5.5 hours. It's just Mom." She understood it, but it was just the fact that it was just like, "Come on, Mom,"
Nice. You're gonna burn. But that's okay. I'll meet you down there, buddy.
Right here with you.
Call these bitches on the phone.
Nice. Okay, I'm up.
Yep.
You're up.
Okay. I had to come up with at least one movie, about a long marriage, all those wonderful feelings that we have. So what better than War of the Roses?
There you go.
Nice.
I absolutely adore this movie. I love all three movies that these three actors are in together. Romancing the Stone, Jewel of the Nile, and this one. This one's actually my favorite. Really? I love War of the Roses. And nothing encapsulates love more than the final shot of that movie. Where, well, it's not the final shot, it's the final shot with the two of them, where they fall from the chandeliers to their death. He reaches over with his last breath to touch her, dies. She uses her last breath to knock his hand off of her. She dies. It's perfect, that movie is so good. I could watch it every week. It's just, I love it. So, War of the Roses. Yeah, I wish it had the movie poster.
Yeah. I hate when they change the box art.
Yeah, I definitely miss the old school.
Yeah, I wouldn't even have recognized that if you would have covered up the name of the movie. I wouldn't know what it was.
Yeah.
When you first pulled it out, I swear to God, I thought it was Employee of the Month with Dane Cook.
That's an honorable mention.
Oh, is it? Okay. No, that's what the box art from that movie looked like. And I was like, what the hell is he doing?
I actually think this is an import or something, because it's got the 15 on it.
Oh yeah.
So I think this came from Canada. I mean, it's multi-region. Because I don't know if the US actually got a actual Blu-ray release of
I don't think so.
No, I have the DVD of it.
Yeah, I got it off of Actually, I did get it off of Amazon, but whatever. Hey,
Yeah.
I love that movie. I'm just happy to have it.
That's awesome. That played at my theater too. I think I have the movie poster, possibly,
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
in my collection. I'll have to check.
Yeah, that came out in '89, right?
88 or 89. Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, because 89, because me and my ex were newlyweds when that movie came out. We went and saw that. We had only been married for about 5 months, 6 months at the time. And I loved it and she hated it. It was like
There you go. All right. I'm up.
Yes, sir.
All right. My next one is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
great
Wow.
movie.
That's a good
Yep.
one.
Yeah,
Great
this
movie.
this is a movie that I just really, really love. It's got that non-linear storyline. Of course, it's about the characters being able to remove memories from their heads, basically. And Joel, who's played by Jim Carrey, finds out that his former girlfriend Clementine is getting the memories of their relationship removed, and he doesn't want to have his removed. And it's just sort of it's sort of the encapsulation of if you had a bad relationship, but you remember the good parts of a bad relationship. There's always something good in a bad relationship to be salvaged if you want to think about it. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a little while, but I've seen it many, many times. And everybody in it is fantastic. Jim Carrey,
Yeah.
Kate Winslet, Tom Wilkinson, Mark Ruffalo, Elijah Wood, and Kirsten Dunst. I love that movie, and it has been more than 10 years since I've seen it last, so I am way overdue on a rewatch. But it's a Charlie Kaufman screenplay and directed by Michael Gondry. Just a great, great movie.
Absolutely.
And definitely one will hit you in the heartstrings. So,
Yep.
That's a good
My
pick.
favorite Jim Carrey movie.
yeah, same here.
It's great pick. I didn't even think to grab that, and I've got that on my shelf, and I definitely should have thought of that.
I like
Yeah.
the Majestic a little bit better.
Yeah, Majestic's my number 2 Jim Carrey movie, but this one's way out ahead of it. But yeah, Majestic's really, really good too.
Really underrated movie too.
Yeah, underseen too.
Yeah. All right. My number. Well, my
Number one.
number one is. I don't think this was a big box office hit, but man, I remember when it was on video, and it's Secretary with James Spader and Maggie
Oh, wow.
Gyllenhaal.
Nice.
I forgot all about that movie.
That movie is so great.
Yeah,
Spader
good movie.
is such a bastard in that movie.
Yeah, great.
That's like one of my favorites to watch. Like, and the funny thing about it, out of the 3 people that wrote it, 2 of them were women that wrote the script.
Mhm.
Just a great movie. Maggie Gyllenhaal is so good in that movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man. Sorry,
I think
ladies.
I think that's. I don't know. I don't know if that it wasn't a big box office hit, but I'll tell you, it was very successful at my theater, and it had a lot of repeat viewings. And and it wasn't men necessarily
okay.
that were coming back.
Oh, okay.
Guys,
was-
the milk
it-
duds.
Yeah,
It wasn't just men coming
it
back.
only made $9.3 million, and the budget was $4.
Okay.
So it was a hit, but man, did that take off on video, man?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I bet.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. But
Wow, I haven't thought of that movie in
we had
years.
regular
Good
customers
pick.
coming back to see that over and over again.
Wow. Yeah, good pick, Kenny.
Thanks.
Very good pick.
I'm actually shocked. No offense. I'm actually shocked that you've even seen that movie, much less,
I'm a big
mean,
James Spader fan.
Yeah,
I
me
love.
too.
I
that's the
love
reason why I
Spader.
saw it.
And it was just like I was something different for like not being an asshole because he's an asshole in every kind of damn movie he was in from the 80s.
Pretty
But
much.
it was just like it was so different and creepy.
Yeah.
And it was just like it I think that's how like and I like Jamie Dornan because I raved over. Remember I told you Belfast. I picked that up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think Jamie Dornan was trying to do that role in 50 Shades, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
You know, I think he was trying to recapture the Spader character in Secretary. It just didn't. It just didn't. I like the movie because I do like Dakota Johnson, but yeah, he didn't work for me. If you want to see something with Jamie Dornan, watch The Fall with Gillian Anderson,
Okay.
where he plays a killer, a serial killer.
Cool.
So good. It's 3 seasons long. It's so good.
Cool.
I've actually seen updated promotional material for Secretary that said something about this was shit, I forgot the name of the damn movie. The Gray movie. What the hell is it called?
50 Shades of
Oh,
Grey.
50
Is that
Shades
what
of
you're
Grey.
talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, 50 Shades of Grey. There would be no 50 Shades of Grey without Secretary.
No.
Yeah, I
And-
mean, you could see a little bit. He was trying to delve into that Spader character in Secretary. You know. Thank you, Stacy. You did see The Fall. That was good.
What about Disclosure?
I like Disclosure too.
Of course you did. Alrighty, sir.
All right,
All right.
Texas, you're up, dude.
All right. So with Sean's permission, I actually had two for my number one spot because I just couldn't decide. So, so first one up is a French film called Amelie.
Nice.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love that
this,
movie.
This is amazing. It's so fun, and it teaches you like not to take life so serious, and
Mhm.
and that love you can find love in the most like ridiculous of places or whatever. It's such a great movie. I mean,
Great
I
movie.
immediately fell in love with it like the first time I ever saw it, and I just thought
Yep.
it was great. And then my other number one, in fact, I'm doing a watch party for it tomorrow night, but is Gregory's Girl.
Yeah,
This,
that's great.
this
I've
is a
heard
high,
of that, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, I've never
this-
seen that one.
That's a
this
great
is
movie.
wonderful. It's so fun. Done by this guy Bill Forsyth, who his next movie after this, Local Hero, got
Yep.
more kind
Oh,
of
Local
okay.
Hero is good.
recognition than this one. But this one I think is tons better, just my opinion on it. But plus this has Claire Grogan, the singer for Altered Images, in it, and I always thought they were an excellent band, and she was
No.
always really sexy, So but
Great movie.
yeah, it is, and this is one of those where I pretty much know all the lines, because I've seen it so many times and everything and whatnot and stuff, and it's kind of a, I won't say that like Gregory's a simpleton, but he is just kind of simple in that he doesn't see
innocent.
the cause of and the effect of this girl that he's trying to date and the things that are going on around him, and but it's really, really nice. It's a great movie and stuff. So yeah, so those are, my two number ones, but you guys made me think of a whole bunch of other stuff. I was like, man, I didn't
We
even
got
think of
plenty
this
of
movie.
time, so chances are we'll be mentioning more.
Yeah.
unless the next hour is nothing but answering Stacy's questions.
It may be.
Guys, Gregory's Girl is on Tubi.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes. It's
It's
also
on-
it's also on Fossum too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's
Awesome.
on
That's awesome.
Pluto TV and it's on Prime.
Lex.
It's all over the place. So yeah.
Okay.
And it's on
Excellent.
Texas's channel tomorrow night.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, it won't be exactly, but we'll all be watching it. We'll be talking about it. So.
Awesome. Great picks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Amelie, I love that movie. I saw it once, but I immediately fell in love with it. I've been wanting to watch it again. I don't own it, but it played at my theater, and I sat and watched it like I usually would do on a Thursday night when I would build a new print, and I would sit in the theater and watch a movie by myself, and just to make sure I put it together right. and I loved it. I totally fell in love with it. And the next day I was recommending it to everybody who walked through the door, and I hopefully got a bunch of people to go see it. But yeah, I love that movie. Fantastic movie.
It's not. Unfortunately, it's not streaming anywhere though.
Amelie.
Amelie, yeah.
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 Cool. Well, that's one that we can look up on the eBay and see if we can get it cheap.
Well, this one that I got, they actually just released this not too long ago. It's a steel book, and I got it off of Amazon, and it's still pretty cheap, but I mean, I think I got it for like 22 or something because it was on sale.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's running about 25 maybe right now, because I'm gonna send a copy to a fair lady, and so hopefully that she loves it as much as I do. But she's learning French, so she has something to go by also.
Yeah.
So.
Nice.
Awesome. Great pick.
Okay. All right. At the beginning of this show, I said that I hated romantic movies and I hated love stories because I hate movies that manipulate your emotions and this and that and the other. So that's why I went outside the box, sometimes way outside the box on my picks. This one's outside the box too, but this one, unlike the other ones, is actually a very sweet movie. And I'm talking about WALL-E.
I knew it.
Yeah, I know you love that one. Yeah.
My favorite Pixar movie of all time. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. Every time I watch that goddamn movie, I cry. It just, it makes me feel like a kid. And it's one of the sweetest love stories I've ever seen, animated or otherwise. And for once, the schmaltz works. I mean, it does. I don't know if it's because WALL-E, those eyes remind me of E.T. and it brings me back to my childhood or whatever, but there's just something about that movie that just makes me smile, and I love it to death. So I had to have at least
Up. Did you like Up?
I own Up. I started to watch it. That first 10-minute scene ripped my heart out so bad that I turned it off, and I have not gone back to it.
Okay.
Even though everybody I know tells me that I would love it, and I'm sure I would. But that opening killed me, and I was like, I cannot proceed any further.
What totally unexpected, from a movie
done
like
so
that.
Effectively.
You're thinking like, especially like when the little, light comes down and stuff, and I'm thinking, okay, it's gonna be like, oh my god, it's like rip your heart out, stomp on it, put it in a blender.
Yeah.
Holy shit, was that?
And the four of us grew up with those old school Disney flicks like Bambi and Old Yeller and shit like that.
Yeah.
They were always depressing and stuff. So it's like, you figure as a grown man, I'd be like, no, man. Like I said, 10 minutes into that movie, and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah. That movie.
And the same with Dumbo too. You try to watch Dumbo when he's taken away from the mom. Oh my god!
Before the problematic crows show up.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked Up, but the real Up that I like, and Jim would probably like it too, is Russ Meyer's Up. So I'm just saying.
I'm sure I would.
I'm
not
sure
familiar with that one, but I'm familiar with a couple of his movies, including Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. But it's my happening, and it freaks me out.
Barzell, I get it. You're a chick.
These two are like, what the hell are those two old bastards rambling on about? Okay, Sean.
All right. We'll finish out these picks with my last pick. Just go for it. Miracle Mile.
Oh, great movie.
This is a movie that starts as a romance, and you have to watch it to figure out how it ends. That's all I'm going to say. It starts as a romance, and guy gets a phone call.
Yep.
Just watch it from there.
Great movie.
Yeah. I actually got a pretty complimentary comment from the director, whose name escapes me, Steve DeJarnett, on Twitter when I had a Twitter account. because I posted my review of it, and he actually read my review of it. And
Nice.
liked it. So that was kind of cool. So I felt kind of seen. But yeah, that's a kick in the gut movie. It is a little dated a little bit because it is kind of a Cold War-ish movie. But it still has the emotional power, I think. And it still works. And I think that's what he commented on in the tweet that he sent me. But yeah, they are together in real life. Says Stacy, but yeah, it starts off as a typical romantic movie and just kind of takes a left turn or a right turn, depending on how you want it.
Depends on your point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is streaming on Amazon Prime too, by the way.
Is it?
Great movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
I
great
just-
movie.
I've never seen it.
Oh, definitely watch it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a great movie.
Yeah, it's definitely good. Yeah,
That's why I like
thank
talking
you.
to you guys, because I like, especially like when Stacy puts stuff up. I'm not. I'm just writing everything on my phone just to check them out. So I got like at least 6 movies to watch just from this like hour or
Mhm.
so to watch. You know.
Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, Anthony
Stacey.
Edwards is
That's
great in
his
that
best
movie.
his best performance by far, in
Absolutely.
my opinion. He's
Yeah.
terrific in it.
Better than Gotcha.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
fucking
it's by
love that
far his
movie with
best.
Linda
Yeah, I know you
Fiorentino.
do.
I love that movie.
I thought you were going to say Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh no,
So-
man, Sasha, that Linda Fiorentino, man, she had an effect on me when I was a kid. Oh,
Yeah, I
my
bet.
goodness gracious!
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Anthony
Between
Edwards.
Vision Quest and Gotcha came out the same year. Oh, Mamma Mia!
Vision Quest and After Hours.
She was in After Hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's
Really?
kind
I
of small.
remember that.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
The Last Seduction. I bought The Last Seduction to watch that again. Oh my God, the scene in the in the
Yeah.
good golly. I
Calm
remember
down
like,
there, Kenny.
The scene
Wow.
in the, yeah, you know.
hot
Eddie
here. I gotta
turned
turn off
red.
the heat.
It's getting warm in there, huh, Kenny?
It is. You'll see me like go over here. I'm like flipping on the heat and stuff like that, you know. But man, I turned that off. Man, I was starting to sweat.
Baby, it's cold outside, but not here.
Yeah, it's here in Philly. It's probably about 18. But man, I started like a little sweat, perspiring, a little bit, stinking in that seat.
Hey, Linda Fiorentino back in the day would do that to a man.
Oof.
Boy,
And some
Golly.
women.
yeah, to each his own.
Absolutely. Gotcha. Of course she's a fan of Gotcha.
Thank you, Stacy. I love you.
Oh, Mr. Dan knows what you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go,
No,
Mr.
see.
Dan. And she's a Jersey girl too, Dan. You know that.
You know that movie, that girl that was in that thing?
Ugh.
Scene? Yeah. Okay. So, Texas, I got to apologize. We got you on as a guest, and I didn't get you to introduce yourself to our audience. So now that we're nearly 3/4 of the way through the show, you want to introduce yourself?
I don't know. You know, most people here kind of know who I am. Loved, hated, you know, universally hated, I would say.
No.
I'm just kidding. Well, by a few people, not really, you know, but it doesn't matter to me because, you
Yeah,
know,
fuck those people.
yeah. No, I'm just like your average, you know, punk rock geek and, you know, movie watcher of all sorts and stuff. And, non-porn except for, you know, Russ Meyer movies, but he's not a pornographer, you know. Yeah.
Now, Texas, would Roxy music fit under punk rock, or would that go under like new wave?
That'd be more under like glam rock, actually.
Yeah.
You know,
Really?
Yeah, that ain't punk, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But you know, but it's funny because since you mentioned that, you know, and a lot of those times in the early '70s when punk rock was kind of hitting, there was, it was so ambiguous in the U.S. that a lot of people didn't even know for sure who what was. There was a really funny bootleg album called Whitman's Punk Sampler, like the Whitman's Chocolates, and it actually had Cheap Trick on it, and it had Tom Petty,
Oh,
the
geez.
Sex Pistols, the Damned, the Clash. So see, that's how ambiguous that people were like. Oh, I mean, I'd see interviews where but people would think that Tom Petty was like new wave or something, and it's just like,
Oh boy.
What?
yeah, it's so weird, you know,
I
and
mean,
stuff.
early Cheap Trick, I could see almost kind of punk on certain songs, you know, but definitely not Tom Petty. I mean, come on.
Right. You know, I mean, yeah, he had, you know, like his rockers like I Need to Know and stuff like that, but it was kind of, yeah, it's just weird though that people would think, you know, and aspects of that and stuff. And then the most funny thing too was like a way pre PMRC, somehow the Carter administration thought that like punk rock was really evil. So then it kind of got like toned down, even though all these great records were like coming out, and it was still kind of underground, even though you would have like a band like the Dickies and like Susie and the Banshees all on these major labels. Their records would come out, but nobody knew who the hell they were until probably around, you know, the start of the 80s, you know, and things like
Yeah,
that.
I never heard of any of those bands until the 80s.
Yeah.
And so you know, it always kind of made me laugh because I remember reading that some comic and it actually featured like Cheap Trick, and there was some woman and she's like, oh, punk rock's all passe, it never went anywhere, new wave is the thing. And I'm just like laughing. I'm like, okay, whatever, you know, it's like that's so stupid, you know. But speaking of Cheap Trick, though, Jim, I don't know if you knew this, but this was something that I had forgotten about. Originally, in rock and roll high school, they actually wanted Cheap
Yep.
Trick,
Yep.
and yeah,
Yep.
and I guess Cheap Trick wanted you know, too much money, you know, and stuff. So they were out, you know, like nope, you know.
Yep. That's how they
I
got
think
the Ramones.
Yeah, I think it would have been weird. I mean, it'd been cool to see them in the film, but I don't think they would have been kind of like the lead band. I just don't think that would have worked, you know.
Not in
So,
1979.
yeah,
You know, maybe a year later, because they were kind of hot right then because Budokan
right.
was such a big album, and Dream Police I think was just about to come out or so, or was around that time. But
Yeah,
you know, I love Cheap Trick. I mean, they're a local band for me. You know, they started off in Rockford, which isn't too far from where I grew up.
right.
But the Ramones are perfect for that movie. So
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I seen Cheap Trick open up for Aerosmith on the Honkin' on Bobo tour, and people didn't want Cheap Trick to leave.
Oh yeah.
I can see why.
They were so. Oh, and Aerosmith was fucking awful. Steve Perry had like one of the worst. Not Steve Perry. What the hell?
Steven Tyler.
Steven
Close
Tyler.
enough.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Steven Tyler had one of the worst nights ever. He couldn't sing, you know, and it was so bad. I think I told you, Sean, that Joe Perry just walked right out. He didn't even say goodnight with the band, like at the front.
Oh, really?
He just took off his guitar, handed it to an agent, and just left.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I mean, he was so pissed, and like even my buddy said, "Oh, there's going to be a fight in that locker room tonight," you know, because he just walked off the stage. They were so bad, and they played so many songs from that Honkin' on Bobo album.
Yeah,
you know?
I love Aerosmith. Okay, I mean they were one of the first bands that I discovered as a kid through my brother. First album I ever bought was Toys in the Attic. Okay. And I was like 7 years old at the time with my allowance money because I liked
the first movie.
I liked the album cover, and I liked "Walk This Way" because that was the song that was on the radio at the time. So I love Aerosmith. I've seen them multiple times. Last time I saw them was in the 90s, and then they sucked, and I was like, nope, I'll never pay to see these guys ever again. So I can only imagine what they were like when you saw them.
Yeah,
I saw them in 2013, I think it was. And Cheap Trick opened for them. and they weren't bad. They had gotten their shit back together.
Oh, okay.
But the first time I saw them was on the Permanent Vacation tour, and they were fantastic then.
Yeah, that tour was great.
And
Did you see him with
yeah,
Dokken?
yeah, I did actually. Yeah,
Me too.
Yeah.
Did,
it was in
did
Pittsburgh.
Dokken sing Dream Warriors?
That was that tour, but I don't think they sing that
I don't
song.
Oh, okay.
think
At least
so.
not when I saw them.
No, I don't think they did it yet because I don't think that movie was out yet.
Yeah, but Back for the Attack, that was definitely the Back for the Attack tour.
Yeah.
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 I remember seeing Freddy 3 in the movies, and remember they used to play the videos before the movie? Like a video before. They played that the whole fucking theater was singing, "Where the dreams." I don't want to go on to get a copyright strike, but they were just like, we were like, everybody was singing it in the whole theater.
Yeah, I hate that fucking song so much. I do.
You could probably sing it better than Don Talking can now, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah, George Lynch was a great guitarist though, man.
Yeah,
And he was phenomenal.
No, he still
I
is.
saw Dokken on the Monsters of Rock tour the first time I saw him with Van Halen, the Scorpions, Metallica, and Kingdom Come. That was a great
Yeah,
concert.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that
I saw
too.
that.
But Dokken was the worst band on stage that day, and and they were the ones that I was looking forward to seeing the most, believe it or not, at that point. And then I saw him when you saw him, Sean, with Aerosmith, and they were fantastic. And then I saw him with Aerosmith again later on that tour, and they were horrible again.
Oh, geez.
So it was like, okay, these guys, you know, either they're on drugs or they're fighting or whatever. But, you know, I could tell right then and there that the end was coming, you know, for Dokken. And it basically did like a year later. So,
yeah. I saw him in 87 because they were towards the beginning of the Permanent Vacation tour. And they were really good. Then I saw them on that Monsters of Rock tour, and they had to follow Metallica, which they did not want to do. So
yeah.
they were like, who's got the bad luck of having to follow Metallica? Oh, we do. And from what I've read, that they were all really bad on cocaine at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, they weren't as good. But
Okay,
then I didn't see him. I didn't see Dokken again until 2008, and by that point it was Don and Mick and a couple of guys.
Yeah,
you know, and they were okay, but Don's voice was gone by that point. So
okay, so you saw that tour also, the Monsters of Rock tour, Texas?
Yes.
Okay. So 3 out of the 4 of us saw that tour. Okay. Different shows, obviously, but we saw the same tour. Out of those 5 bands, okay, which one was the best the day that you guys saw them?
Well, okay. I didn't get to see the last 2 bands. I didn't get to see Van Hagar, and I didn't get to see Scorpions because my ex-wife, she would always get migraines really bad. So I don't know if it was genetic or what, you know, but like we saw the first 3 bands. And well, I would say Metallica because that was the only reason that I was there, you know, was to see them, you know. But we did stay for Dokken, and you know, and I wanted to see Scorpions, you know, but she's just like she goes, my head's, you know, hurting too much, so we had to leave, and it was at Candlestick Park too, which was just not really good for a venue, you know, that sort, you know, and stuff. So yeah,
bummer. How about you, Sean?
I would have to say that I went to see Metallica, but I was actually more surprised. I mean, I really enjoyed Metallica, don't get me wrong. Because they didn't surprise me. They were fucking awesome. But I was surprised by Van Halen, you know, with Sammy Hagar, because I was not a Sammy Hagar fan. Solo, I liked his stuff, but I didn't think he fit Van Halen. But seeing them live, it was really, really good. And seeing Eddie Van Halen live was fantastic. So they kind of won me over. But yeah, I would have to say they were the biggest surprise of the day, which probably sounds stupid since they were the headliners, but
not at all.
They won me over. Scorpions were great. Dokken was, and Kingdom Come, believe it or not, I was a Kingdom Come fan, even though they were, you know, like the big Led Zeppelin ripoff, supposedly. but I enjoyed them. So I loved every band that was on the tour, but I would say Van Halen was the surprise for me.
Yeah, the one that surprised me and it ended up being my favorite out of the lineup was the Scorpions at the show I went to. My God, they were great. I mean, I was a Scorpions fan at the time, but that was the first time I ever saw them live.
Yeah.
And they were just phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. Van Halen was great too, but I saw Van Halen with David Lee Roth.
Oh, wow.
And I saw Sammy Hagar solo before
okay.
I saw that concert, you know, the Van Hagar concert. And they put on a great show, but the whole time I kept thinking, the last time I saw him with David Lee Roth, they were better. The last time I saw Sammy Hagar solo, he sounded better, you know, that sort of thing. So, which probably wasn't fair, but like you said, all 5 bands were actually, I mean, Dokken was the weakest of that lineup that day, but even they were listenable. It wasn't like they got booed off the stage or anything like that. You know, I've been to concerts where I went and saw Van Hagar again on the Fuck Tour, you know, the Foreign Life Unlawful Kernel Knowledge Tour.
Yeah.
A young band that I had never heard of opened for him called Alice in Chains.
Oh, geez.
And this was about a week before Man in a Box hit the radio. Okay.
Wow.
So nobody knew who these guys were, and they got booed off the stage. People were throwing shit at them and stuff. I felt bad for them because I thought they were great. I was like, hey, who the hell are these guys? You know? But yeah, people were chucking shit at them.
Wow.
You know, all that shit.
Yeah.
And it was like, and then Van Halen came on and they sucked that night. I mean, they sucked. And it was like, I felt bad for Alice in Chains, you know?
Wow. That's
okay, we
bad.
are way off topic, but we killed some time.
We talked about the topic. We got it in. All right, let's go ahead.
I'm sorry, real quick. It's funny, you know, Jim, that you mentioned how Alice in Chains, you know, got it bad. I don't know. I really wasn't really much of a fan of theirs, just because they started off kind of trying to do the glam thing like Mother Love Bone did, who I actually did like them because they were that was, you know, members of Pearl Jam and whatnot. But the thing that I was gonna say was that now I've lost my damn train of thought. That that like they had that offshoot band for a while, Mad Season or whatever.
Yeah,
that
they put out
was in with Barrett Martin, who was like the drummer for Screaming Trees, who I liked a lot and saw them, you know, quite a few times, even before he was in the band and stuff, you know. And I always thought they were great, but they, you know, once they got signed to Sony, they got robbed, you know, pretty much, you know, and stuff, which sucked, you know, and whatnot. But yeah, different times, you know, and things of that sort. But I don't know. I've seen bands, you know, get the same kind of thing, getting, you know, nobody. Yeah, well, yeah. What I was going to say was when I saw Sonic Youth, like they're the band I think I've seen the most in my life. I saw them like about 19 times, and I saw them open for like Neil Young, and man, that crowd just couldn't put up with their noise and stuff. But yeah, they listen to Neil Young doing all sorts of like ridiculous feedback, you know, and stuff.
Yeah, that makes
it like, okay, you know.
That's funny. That, I mean, I've seen Neil Young a couple times, but it seems like a perfect mix would be Sonic Youth and Neil Young.
Oh yeah, I mean, it definitely was. But I remember people were just, you know, like when they announced, like Thurston was like, "This is our last song," and this guy that was standing next to me was like, "Thank God," and I'm like, you know, whatever, dude.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. Interesting.
Yeah. Never seen Neil Young or Sonic Youth live, to be honest.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen Sonic Youth. I've never seen them. I've seen Neil Young. It was one of the. I correct myself. I only saw him once. And Booker T and the MGs were the opening band.
Wow.
And then they were his backup band too.
Because when I saw him, he was with Crazy Horse, and it was the Weld tour, and like over like I guess like East Coast side, he had Social Distortion. They were opening up. They were the first band. There were like 3 bands: Social Distortion, and then Sonic Youth, and then Crazy Horse. And by the time they got over to my side, when I was living in San Francisco, Social Distortion had quit the tour, and then we had Driving and Crying, who were just as good. I mean, they packed about 10 songs within 20 minutes, and then Sonic Youth got to play about 50 minutes. And then Neil Young, like, it was weird. It was like Sonic Youth were over by like 9:30 or something, and then he didn't come on till like 11 o'clock or 11:30, and then he played till 2 in the morning. It was ridiculous.
Oh,
It was like, yeah, we had to stand there, and just like, okay, twiddling our fucking thumbs, and then finally he comes on. So that was one of the drawbacks why I didn't like this, the show. I mean, I thought he was, I thought he was great, but that wait time was bullshit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good
That's
thing
weird.
you guys weren't like Guns N' Roses fans and you start tearing apart the stadiums.
I saw Guns N' Roses when they introduced their new single "Sweet Child of Mine," and Axl Rose looked on the front row, and one guy had Guns N' Roses tattooed on his arm, and he's like, "Look, man, he's got our band name tattooed on his arm, man. That's so cool." And then I saw him again at Richfield Coliseum in Cleveland, and of course he did the prima donna thing and made us wait for like 2 hours before he came out. And I'm like, man, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I saw Guns N' Roses around the same time you did, because Welcome to the Jungle was just hitting, and they opened for Aerosmith, and they blew Aerosmith off the stage. That was the Done with Mirrors tour, and Aerosmith was still on drugs at the time.
Yep.
So and yeah, that concert, like I said, I didn't know who the hell this band was, but I love that guitarist with that hat. Who the hell is that guy? I mean, that's what I kept on looking at, with Slash, because even then he was just tearing it up. You could see, it all there. But I never saw him during the Prima Donna days, thank God.
No, that was the last time I went to see him. It was the Use Your Illusion tour. And yeah, then I was done. They've come through here a couple of times, like with Slash and whoever the bass player is.
They had Tommy Stinson from the Replacements, and then I don't know, for a while Buckethead was playing guitar for him. So
yeah,
a revolving cast of characters.
Yeah, they had that the Chinese Democracy tour, where they had that revolving cast of people that were on. Then they got the quote unquote reunion where they got Slash back in the band, and then I can't remember the bass player's name. He's back in the band, and then they've been through here a couple times, and I just no, forget it. They may have gotten their shit together, but I'm just no, it's okay. Something about them now that just makes me I don't know. I just had my fill of Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
All right, Stacy, we got a lot of questions in the chat. Where do we start?
Stacy's stuff down.
Stacy's got so many questions. I literally don't know where to start.
Yeah, Stacy had me and Daniel going pretty good last week. It was great.
Oh man, I don't even know where to start. Oh, Sarah's got a comment for you.
Yeah, I said thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Oh, since I'm thinking about it, thank you, Kenny, for bringing 1982, the greatest geek year ever thing to my attention, because I picked that up. That was on my recent video.
It was great, wasn't it?
Oh my God. The Megaforce segment alone made that thing worth the price.
Sean, they actually talked to Barry Bostwick about it too.
Oh, great. I still have to watch that.
That segment alone is worth the price of admission. It is so good.
Yeah.
But not even when he's talking about the effects and stuff, when he makes his comment. So on my day off, I'm sitting next to the pool, stoned out of my mind, and they come walking up to me and say, "Barry, we need you on the set." And I'm like, I'm by the pool. I'm stoned. What do you mean I'm supposed to be at the set? We need you on the set. And my first thought was, holy shit, I hope I don't have to ride a motorcycle today.
Yeah. He said shit was coming off of those things.
Rockets are hitting people in the head. You got smoke in your eyes. You can't see shit. Yeah. Like I said, the whole thing is great. It's like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
But that Megaforce thing, it's like maybe 5-10 minutes of the movie. And oh my God. My 83-year-old mother and my 61-year-old sister are watching this thing with me the other day, and both of them are just crying with laughter. It was so funny.
I was laughing because I remember renting Megaforce because that was like about the time like all those like like B movies started coming out, facsimiles, and it was just like I remember watching it, and it was like I tried it's not on YouTube TV, and it's like it's really hard to get like on DVD and stuff like that. But yeah, I thought that was so good.
Yeah.
If you can pick that up, no problem.
It's so good.
What was that? I missed the title.
It's called 1982 Greatest Geek Year Ever.
And it's on Hamilton Book, not a commercial, not a sponsor.
Yeah, it's through MVD Rewind.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
$24.95 on there.
Of course, I picked it up from Amazon for full price.
You know what? I think I got it for $16 through an eBay seller.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I got it off of Amazon, supposedly used like new for $22 free shipping, same day or next day shipping. Thing was sealed.
Nice.
That's
nice.
So, and it was the Blu-ray. So I was like,
yeah, that's what I got too. I highly recommend that, Texas. I think you'll like that.
Yeah, it's great. It really is. It's great, especially if obviously, all four of us, we were around in 1982,
Oh yeah.
And watching that thing, it just brought me back to being that age at that time. I mean, it's so good.
Yep. And they don't try to cute it up by anything. It's just like I really like. I hope they do like an 83, like a year 80. Like I hope they do a whole.
No, because again, the whole point of the thing was that 1982 was the greatest geek year ever.
Yeah. 1983 was not the greatest geek year ever, but it was close.
No, but I just like those. Like I bought those. What is it? Drive-in. Like they show the trailers of all the movies, like the action movies from the 90s and stuff like that. Umbrella Entertainment came out with them.
Yeah.
And I just love them because it reminds me of like popping in the tape to watch. You're watching and you watch a couple trailers before, and it's just like, even like when you're sitting in the movie theater waiting for like, say, Spies Like Us to come on, and you get like 5 different trailers and you're like writing them down, so you don't forget them, That's what I really miss about the whole like movie experience, that you used to go to wait for the trailers, because I was so anal retentive, that I had to be there 15 minutes before the movie started.
Oh yeah.
No,
you got to watch the trailer.
Seat,
Better than that, back in the day, waiting for the movies to start way before they started doing the commercials and bullshit. Okay.
Yeah.
Before the trailers, you'd be sitting there, and if you went to a theater that you were lucky enough that they handed out those little pamphlets called movie facts, and you open it up, and it had a listing of everything that was coming out the next 3 months, and gave you like a little 2-sentence synopsis of what it was, and you'd be sitting there going, "Ooh, that sounds good. Ooh, what the hell is that? Ooh." And then if you were lucky enough that they showed one of those trailers at the time, it'd be like, "Oh." I mean, do you remember that shit?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I just remember they used to have like the on the screen, they used to have like, Julia Roberts starred in this movie that's coming out next
This was before that.
Sleeping with the blank, and everybody go, "Enemy!" And
this was years before that.
Yeah. I hate the way they have commercials, trailers, and then more commercials.
Yeah, you're right, Mr. Dan. Yeah.
And now they have commercials that look like they're parts of the trailer, like the new one for Captain America. They have like the begins like it's the Captain America trailer, but it's for something else.
It turns into an Allstate ad or some shit.
Yeah.
There's one for like Gain or something, laundry detergent and shit.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I didn't get to watch much of the game the other night, the Super Bowl, but I walk in there and I see Harrison Ford on the screen, and I'm like, oh, please tell me Harrison Ford isn't doing a commercial, hawking something. And then it looks like it's a public service announcement or something. And I'm like, okay, cool. And it turns out to be a fucking ad for Jeep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like,
and he even mentioned his name. He's like, I drive a Jeep, even though my name is Ford.
Tell you, I wasn't really into the commercials.
No, we know why.
Yeah, I was so like involved in the game, and it was funny because like we had like all snacks and stuff like that, and it was like my nieces were like, they were so excited for the halftime show. There was about like 8 of us that went out to the kitchen, and it was like, okay, we're going to eat now, because we didn't eat anything like during the first, except for like maybe a couple like dips or like salsa, to have in there. But like everybody was so pent up, we couldn't eat before even in the morning, So it was like, I think the first time, this fat guy never ate anything before, what was it, 6:30? And I was out there, and I was just like, okay, we got a 24-point lead. I can eat now. So I was like, me and my friends were sitting there, and he was like the same as me. He couldn't eat. And he goes, I think we can skip the halftime show. And I didn't even know who the hell the guy was that was performing. So it didn't matter to me,
You never heard of Samuel L. Jackson?
He was there. Seriously, I don't even know. My nieces were in there watching it, and they were singing the songs, and I kept on going to my friend. I was like, so when's the police, or when we were talking about like old 80s bands, and they were like, it's like, where's the motels? Are the motels coming out?
Where's Quarter Flash?
Oh,
Quarter Flash. There you go.
Scandal.
Let me tell you, she was one of the hottest women, man.
Bang.
Patty Smythe.
Me and my brother used to wait to watch that video, the Warrior video, just because she was on it. It was, and another one for me that always did it for me was Pat Benatar.
Oh, now Pat Benatar, she's awesome.
I remember that was one of the first videos I've ever seen on MTV. It wasn't, and it was just like her in those hot, tight black pants. You better run.
I never looked at her as a sex object. I just think she's got one of the greatest voices ever. I mean, that woman can sing. And
yeah.
I saw her a couple of times live. I saw her when she was in her heyday back in the day, and then I saw her years later, when she was like in her 50s, and she was still hitting all the notes and holding it. I mean,
she's 70-some years old now, Jim, and she can sing better than half of these people.
I know.
It's unbelievable.
Like I said, she was a trained opera singer, as a child and shit. And I mean, she does. She's got an incredible voice. And her husband, whether you like their music or not, her husband's a great guitar player. He really is. Go ahead, Texas. Go ahead. I know you're just itching to say something.
No, I was just going to say, I saw her on the Get Nervous tour back in '83, which was the year that I graduated high school. But Red Rider opened up for him,
Lunatic Fringe.
Yeah. Crowd went ape shit when they played that. I'll always remember that. That was hilarious,
No, Pat Benatar, like I said, she should have been inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame years before she got in there. I mean, she's in there now, but she should have been in there years ago.
Did you guys used to have like this is just a off the wall question. Did you guys used to have like fights with your friends in like high school and middle school about we used to have this one, and I still remember this. What if David Lee Roth left Van Halen, man? Do you think they would ever get another lead singer? It's like we would do that. We would compare the bands because, like, when I was in high school, like the two like big ones were Def Leppard and Quiet Riot.
Yeah, they were big when I was in school too.
Oh, and it was just like Def Leppard. They can't hold a candle to because "Come On Feel the Noise" was like I think on every 5 minutes on MTV at the time, and it was just like, and it's like, no, dude, Photograph. oh my God, what about come on, feel the noise with the fucking speakers, shaking and stuff. It's like we used to have these stupid conversations, like, while we're making lunches for the kids, because I worked in the cafeteria at the time making lunches, and it was like
the
we used to
only
have the
fight I
battle,
ever
like
got
who
into
was
in
the
high
better
school.
guitarist, who was the better drummer.
oh, okay,
like-
so it wasn't just my school that
No.
we were doing
Yeah.
that, because we would always do, and then the dude was the hottest women, because I was like Elizabeth Shue, and they were like, oh, Diane Franklin from Last American Virgin. I'm like, yeah, she's hot, but she's no Elizabeth Shue. We would go through go through all this stuff, and oh man, it's like, and then we would like the one time we were fighting over why do they call her Lassie, and it's like, for me who didn't see Porky's, I had no idea what the hell you were talking about. I'm like, does she have a dog?
I got into a fight in high school. The only fight I ever had in high school because of fucking Quiet Riot, Kenny.
Really?
Because I got into a heated argument with a guy about what band was more talented. Not better, more talented. He said Quiet Riot was more talented than Rush.
Oh,
And I
no.
lost my fucking mind.
Yeah. Okay.
That's prone for a stabbing right there.
yeah.
Exactly.
Good Lord.
Even I know better. My deal was always, though, like, when I was in junior high, I was like the biggest Kiss fan. That's what everybody would say.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love
Kiss,
Kiss.
your Kiss this, blah 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 blah. They'd always say that. And make jokes, and they'd say Kiss sucked or whatever. And then once I got into punk rock, it got worse, because I remember this one guy. Oh yeah, I've seen those Sex Pistols guys in their satin pants. They're nothing but a bunch of faggots, and stuff. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? And we always had these dumb rednecks who were always, I don't like rock and roll, I like country music, which there's nothing wrong with that. But then the guy gets in his truck and he's playing fucking Ozzy Osbourne. Well, that doesn't sound like it's country to me, fucking moron.
Texas in the 80s.
Yeah. I mean, it was so funny, because once MTV was showing different, bands and stuff, and then when Combat Rock by the Clash came out, all these jocks that, I didn't get really hassled by them, because once I was like a junior, things, were semi different. But it would be funny though, because this guy, somebody would come up and they'd say, oh, I bought that Combat Rock album by the Clash, and I'd be, well, that's cool, I'm like, but they got 4 other records that are just as better and just as good, So I mean, I at least, it's like, I could be a music snob. I wasn't as bad back then, because I always thought it was great when some guys like, oh, I heard the Dead Kennedys on the Rice University station the other night. I went out and bought their album. I'm like, well, that's cool, and I'd be like, well, check out all these other bands, I'd be telling people, well, you should listen to this band or check this out, So it always would surprise me sometimes when somebody's like, oh, even like local bands, and somebody's like, oh, I heard this just by chance, and I went up to this record store that you guys always talk about and bought that album and stuff. And I'm like, wow, I was like, that's cool. So, I'm always more than happy to like share things with people. That's why I like doing what I do. But
Yep.
I could be a real music snob. I mean, one of my best friends, he was a drummer. He still is. I mean, pretty, versatile in what he does. But he, we were all big Rush fans before we got into punk rock. And there was this one guy that was always like, well, I bet you don't know Tom Sawyer, or you don't know this. And we just like look at him like, just because we weren't listening to Rush at the time, it was like, we still liked him. But it was funny one day. It's like, I bet you can't play it. And we just kind of look at each other. Then all of a sudden, he starts playing it and everything. And they're like, what the fuck,
Oh, geez. Yeah. Yeah. You wouldn't look at me and, you go back and watch my videos. I'm always wearing Kiss shirts and everything, but somebody will ask me who my top favorite bands are. And I'll say, oh, Kiss. And then follow that up with Kraftwerk. And somebody will be like, what?
There you go.
So yeah, okay.
I'm just into the K's, I'm just
Then I'll follow up with Gary Newman. Yeah, okay. What?
I'll
Gary
throw
Newman, Kraftwerk, and Kiss.
Oh man, Gary Newman. I told Jim this. I saw Gary Newman on the it was the I Assassin tour, and Wall of
Nice.
Voodoo opened up for him. And that,
Oh,
oh
wow.
man, it was incredible because he on drums he had Chris Slade, the guy that later played for AC/DC
AC/DC.
later.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
he was playing with him then, and then this guy Pino Palladino
Yep.
was on
Fretless
bass. Yeah, and fuck man, he was so good.
Yeah, I saw Pino Palladino play with 9 Inch Nails.
Oh, okay.
2013. Yeah. So yeah. All right, we got to rein this back in because we got 5 minutes till 9.
Hey, we killed some time.
We killed some time. We got to do our movie recommendations before we sign out. So
Excuse
Kenny,
Yes.
Kenny, it's time.
I was listening. I don't know who any of those people are, but
It's okay. I just had
The
to wake
more
you
you
up.
know.
yeah. Oh no, I'm always willing to learn. You know,
It's
who
the
they
Reading
are.
Rainbow.
It's just like because I turned my nieces onto 10,000 Maniacs. She'd
There you
never
go.
heard of them before, and I'm like, well, I like them for a whole different reason than you do.
Oh,
and,
I'm sure.
you know.
Wouldn't have to do with a woman named Natalie, would it?
Oh God, I love Natalie Merchant.
He's getting hot again.
Yeah, that's why I took off my hat. I was like sweating a little bit. I'm a fat man here, people. So, all right, my
Kenny,
Tubi pick of the week.
Yep, it's your turn for movie pick of the week from Tubi.
Not a sponsor, but Tubi, please. See Sean, we love you guys. My is from 1981, and it's called Private Lessons.
Ah, yeah.
Sylvia Christel.
Sylvia Crystal and Eric Brown. Man, did that dude have a luck in the 80s or what? He got Sylvia Crystal, and then he got Sybil Danning later in the decade. So that.
And then he got Mama.
I was just going to say he was on Mama's Family too. So, but I remember renting that way before I should have been, and it used to be a cable TV staple in around here. So 1981 it is available on Tubi, and highly recommend you go checking that out. It's very good. Make you laugh.
Cool.
Nice. And you forgot the great Howard Hessman.
Howard Hessman. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of those cable constant rotation movies for me when I was a kid.
Sort of like sure. Dr. Detroit. Dr. Detroit was another one that came on a lot.
Every time I hear the Mellencamp song, I need a lover that won't drive me crazy.
Yeah.
I think of that fucking movie.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen that movie in 40 years, but I think of that movie every time I hear that song.
Thank you, Stacy. I hope you like that movie too.
All right.
Yeah, Texas, you're up. I'm sorry.
No,
I was looking down to Stacy's comment.
So I guess my friend Jimmy showed up in like a different room, so just saying hey to Jimmy and stuff. So, yeah, my movie recommendation is on Netflix, and that's a movie called Kneecap. It's about some Irish rappers who get Ireland to speak the native language, and it's a true story. These guys are real like rappers. They rap in Irish, and it's got Michael Fassbender in it, which is an even better like key. I've watched this thing like 3 times. I think that's the most I've ever just like watched a movie on Netflix, and I'll probably go for like a 4th and 5th watch because I really like it so much. So, but yeah, That's my recommendation. Kneecap.
When was that made?
Last year actually.
2024.
Okay. Yeah.
I got it up here. Yeah, that's a great one. Never heard of it before.
Excellent.
Very nice.
Good pick. All right, Jim, you are
all
up.
right. I already mentioned earlier the 1982 doc that I got this week, but I got another doc this week that I featured in a video this week, and this one is a blast. And it is Electric Boogaloo, the complete wild, untold story of Cannon Films.
That's very good.
This is an hour and 45-minute love letter to Golan and Globus, the 2 mad geniuses behind Cannon Films. And if you're not familiar with Cannon Films, you're either too young or you just weren't paying attention, because Canon Films released a variety of crap, but glorious crap for a decade. And some
Good
of your
crap.
favorite movies, some of your favorite guilty pleasures were definitely Canon Films from that era. And like the Megaforce thing in the 1982 doc, there's one scene in particular in here where they're talking about a movie called The Apple. If you don't know what The Apple is, it's a musical, and oh my God, it's got a song called I'm Coming. It is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Now, this is available on DVD. As far as I know, this never got a Blu-ray. It might, but I don't think so. But this DVD comes with the bonus features, has 25 minutes of additional scenes, but more importantly, 30 minutes of trailers from these glorious, glorious films. Okay. Now, the wonderful thing about this recommendation this week, you can watch this entire movie uncut on YouTube for free.
Nice.
I watched it a couple of days ago before that DVD got here because I wanted to watch it so much. And the bonus features obviously aren't included with that, but the movie is, and it's completely uncut, and it's so entertaining. So my pick this week is Electric Boogaloo, the wild, untold story of Canon Films.
Awesome.
That's a
real quick. I'll mention, because of that, there's a box set that you can get the documentary, but also get like some of those Canon movies together with it, and it's pretty cheap.
Mr. Dan has that.
Yeah, I have it too.
Yeah.
So it has like Invasion USA and Over the Top and
Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
And also another thing was they mentioned how, well, you know, the brothers, when they see this, they're going to want to put out their own documentary, which they did, called the Go-Go Boys.
Go-Go Boys.
Yep.
Which isn't as good.
It's so horrible.
That movie is not good at all. This one is friggin' so entertaining.
Yeah, I mean,
I did enjoy them fighting over the Lambada and the other one,
Forbidden Dance.
The Lambada, the Forbidden Dance.
Yeah, I remember both of those pieces of shit coming out the same day, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
And then I saw the doc, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" It's like, But that whole thing with the apple, I'm coming. I mean, oh my God, my sister damn near fell off the couch. She was laughing so hard. She couldn't believe it was a real movie.
Now I have to follow that up.
Yes, you do.
Well, my recommendation this week is nowhere near as fun as that one. It's mine's actually a little bit of a downer compared to that one, but mine is Superman, the Christopher Reeve story.
Great movie.
That's one
I just
great,
caught
though.
on Max. Yeah, it
was good, wasn't it?
Oh man, that. Oof. As you all know, yeah, definitely. Christopher Reeve was paralyzed in a horse riding accident, and then went on to do great things, advocating for spinal cord research. But it actually digs into his life a little bit and shows kind of what he was like behind the scenes when he wasn't really the Superman character that everybody thinks he was. But even though it kind of shows a little hint of how he was behind the scenes, he never, I guess he was a jerk.
Well, to his first wife, anyway.
He wasn't married.
No, I'm sorry, the girlfriend.
Yeah, the girlfriend.
Yeah.
He still turned out to be a decent dude afterward. Afterward. So it's interesting to get a different look at him. But just eye-opening to see what he did before and after the accident. So just an all-around great documentary, and one that I think that kind of shows both sides of the coin as far as him as a human being. So I think it's well worth watching, even though it was put out by his family. They don't paint him as a perfect person by any stretch of the imagination. So Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, it is available on Netflix, or not Netflix, I'm sorry, Max, and CNN actually ran it, so it might be available on their app as well. if you stream it, but it will have commercials on there. So that is my pick for this week.
That was one of my top
Very
5
good.
from last year.
Yep.
Yeah, I really loved that movie. And the whole connection with him and Robin Williams, just wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
I never and you know what's funny? The people that were like close to him, you never thought, like Glenn Close, for instance, because it was just like, man. And how he would Robin, when he got sick, he would go in and impersonate doctors, and time for your prostate, check, just to get him, smiling. And let me tell you, his wife, man, his wife was an angel.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So it's just an amazing movie. Just I learned a hell of a lot, and my wife watched it with me, and she liked it. So it made the cut. It made the wife cut. So
no, it's a great movie. It really is.
Yeah. And Stacy didn't like it.
Stacy didn't like Saving Private Ryan either. So
Yeah.
But we like you, Stacy.
That's all right.
You always add to the shows.
Fine. She didn't like the Michael J. Fox documentary either, or the Ebert documentary.
God, I was in peace. I I literally had tears like the whole documentary. Like when he fell and he goes, "Oh, hey," like on the street and stuff like that. And oh my God, I
didn't see the Michael J. Fox one. I did see the Ebert one.
I saw the Michael J. Fox one.
And the Ebert one I loved mainly because, like I said, Roger Ebert was a hero to me as a kid. I used to read his reviews in the Sun-Times, because in Chicago, you got the Tribune and the Sun-Times. Siskel wrote for the Tribune. He wrote for the Sun-Times. And my dad subscribed to the Sun-Times from the time that I could crawl. So I did. Being the movie geek, I constantly read Ebert's reviews, even before the damn show started.
Yeah.
So, I didn't like you said, I totally disagreed with him, mainly on horror movies for sure.
Oh yeah.
They did not like horror movies, but there was a lot of movies that I loved that he didn't like. But there was a lot of movies that I never in a million years ever would have seen without those two guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
I without
totally
a doubt.
Agree.
So,
yeah, Stacy says that the difference between the Reeve family and the Williams family is that the Williams want to stand on their own, where Will Reeve is pathetically trying to stand on Christopher Reeve's shoulders too much. I can see that. Yeah, I can see you seeing that. But to each their own.
I don't get into the personal lives of the rich and famous for the most part.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm just sorry that the guy, what him and his family went through.
Yeah. I mean, for in terms of both Robin Williams and Christopher Reeve, that there is a line in the movie that kind of hit me, that if Christopher Reeve was still here, that Robin Williams would still be here. So, yeah. So I'll just leave it at that. With that, it is 8 minutes
Way to
past.
bring us down, Sean.
Yeah, thanks. That's my birthday gift to all of you.
I was going to say, it's the birthday downer.
It's my party, and we'll cry if he wants us to.
But I want to thank everybody who watched us live. Stacy, I apologize. We didn't really get to any of your questions.
Sorry.
We're going to have a show where Stacy comes on either in the chat or live.
Yes.
And
yeah, we can ask her about the goofy scenarios of running a studio in 1987 when Michael Douglas comes in with Howard the Duck and says, "I want a movie."
Yeah. So let us know, Stacy, if you're interested.
Did we ever find out where Stacy is from?
No. Yeah, where are you from, Stacey?
Where are you from? We're not leaving until you tell us where you're from in the chat room. Come on, let's go.
Oh, don't tell her that. She'll make us sit here all night.
Yeah, we're not stalkers. I'm from Philly.
I'm from Cleveland.
Texas is from Texas.
I'm from Wisconsin. Well, from Illinois, but live in Wisconsin.
Oh, Stacy doesn't want to say.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks,
That's
Mr.
fine.
Dan, for hanging with us too.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Dan. Thanks, everybody in the chat. Thank you, Sarah. Thanks, Patrick, who was here before. Thanks, James. Thanks, Victor. Anybody else I missed? Great show tonight. Had a lot of
Excellent show
viewers.
tonight.
Yeah,
For all the ladies out there, happy Valentine's Day.
He's turning red again.
For all you ladies.
Damn.
Wow, look at
Check your
that, man.
thermostat, Kenny.
He's almost purple. Holy shit.
Sorry.
What are you sorry about, man? You know, you're a Yams fan. I know it. Jesus Christ.
All right.
Jim's
I
turning
will-
red now. Damn.
That was good. I wasn't expecting that.
Now I'm turning red.
That was awesome. Happy birthday, Sean.
Thank you
Happy
so much.
birthday, Sean.
Thanks, everybody. Come out. Texas, thank you for being on. We'll definitely have you on again. Great
Great.
guest.
Well, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
very
you,
welcome.
Texas.
Everybody
It was an honor.
else, thanks for being on. And everybody who's listening on the replay, sorry you weren't here, but you can always listen to us on Spotify, Podbean, and Apple Podcasts. So with that, I will end us with our little outro, and then we'll be out. So take it easy and have a good night.
All right, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.